Jay-Z, Hav, just recently did another interview, this time with the New York Times. He said a lot of different things, and it lasted about 20 to 30 minutes. But the part everyone is focusing on is when he talked about his experience as a younger rapper, getting older and maturing in the game, what that looks like and what an artist's path for growth should look like. A lot of people feel like this was talking directly to Drake, the man who refuses to grow up and mature with his sound and his antics. But let's take a listen to what he said.
Tom, never fight against the future. Future's coming. Artists, they were trying to recreate something that was already done, but they're not connected to it like that. They're not living it and breathing it. They were fighting against gravity as opposed to telling their story. We needed that other side. We needed to hear about what happens when you have 4 successful albums. What happens? What is that feeling like? How do you make the next one? How did you get in the studio? How are your kids? How do you interact with them as this hip hop dad? But if you're trying to make young music and you're not young, it's gonna be inauthentic and people could feel that, you could smell it. So the best thing that anyone can do, like going through music, is to tell a story and just keep creating from that space.
The part that stood out the most was when he talked about karma debt affecting your family. That is a bar, and it connects directly to Drake's situation because it seems like he's built up a serious amount of karma that has already started coming back around. Whether that's the lawsuit, the way he's treated certain people in the industry, or several other things, it's all adding up.
The clips are doing right now and how it's authentic to them, and they're telling the story about their mom and dad who just passed away and how deep that is, with John Legend singing on the chorus, and everything that they've been through is an authentic display, a piece of classic material that it could have came out 96 or come out 2026. It still feels the same because it's real and it's authentic to who they are. Like I said, those are the ingredients that go in the song, whether it be about, a big yacht or the Lexus, bragging about money. Those are just props. That's not the engine. That's not the emotion that my music is running on. But once you get into the interior of the song, what you're hearing is the same thing you're gonna hear from, someone who has some integrity, morality, questions about religion, questions about who you are as a man, relationships, your legacy, your children, the fears that they're gonna have, whatever karmic debt that you put out there and how, that's gonna affect your family. Those are the real themes. My locations have changed, but who I am as a person and what I believe in, none of that's changed.
You can't fight gravity. You can't keep chasing 20-year-olds forever. At some point, we need to hear what the new sound looks like, the growth, the maturity. For a deeper artist, this would just be a natural transition as they get older. But Drake doesn't operate that way. So is Jay-Z actually dissing him? It feels like it could be a sneak diss, low-key, no name mentioned, but everyone felt like it was directed at Drake. And rumor has it, the two are not on good terms right now. Now, Jay-Z did say in a previous interview that he has no reason to have any issue with Drake. He's Hav, we get it. But something still feels like it's there. And right on cue, here comes Akademiks with the OVO cape on, ready to spin this whole thing in Drake's favor. Let's see what he has to say.
See, I'm gonna say the elephant in the room, man. This is hating ass Jay-Z once again. He talking to Drake, man. Drake turning 40 this year. He trying to he one of them type of gonna give you the bad advice that hopefully you follow, and then when you get unsuccessful, he be like, well, at least you tried. At least you know them people be like, well, at least you did it the right way. Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had a whole career. That nigga said 30's a new 20 when he became 30. That nigga said, I'm young forever. And now that he's 70, he's trying to tell other nah, y'all gotta make music like y'all old now, man. Nah, don't do what I was doing, saying 30 the new 20, young forever. Y'all gotta leave the youth alone. Man, this thing don't get the fuck out of here. I keep telling y'all, man, Jay-Z the type of bruv, when he ready to, Jay-Z likes to put a bow on a lot of bullshit. The guy's 70, half his life, Jay-Z was like 50 when he was like, yo, I'm young forever. What you mean you young forever? Let's go back and check out the math. Jay-Z is 56 in 2026. That means in 2010, which is 16 years ago. 16 years ago, this is 40. Hating ass. Hating. You know why? The other nigga, yo, hip-hop's top guys now, they're about to be 40. You know what he trying to tell him? Nah, man. We used to tell him that. You Grandpa Hove now. He ain't want to hear it.
So Jay is a hater. Okay, maybe, but what reason would he really have? Now, obviously, Akademiks is biased here because he's on Team OVO no matter what. He's not going to say anything against Drake. But on top of that, he also seems to have his own issue with Roc Nation and Jay-Z specifically, something tied to the Megan Thee Stallion situation and being pulled into court over that whole thing. So he definitely jumped at the chance to defend Drake and take shots at Jay in the process. Personally, I agree with Jay. It definitely feels like he was taking shots at Drake, but not everyone sees it that way. Some people feel that if the audience is still there and you can still connect with a younger crowd, then keep going.
Interview with New York Times, he had mentioned if you're making young music but you're not young, it's going to come off as inauthentic. If you would have said this statement in the 2000s, I think it would have been everybody agreeing with it. Nowadays, with the rappers getting older and older and still thriving, I would have liked him to go in further on like what he would deem as young person music, as older or more mature music. So some of these people, they might be 40 and up and they still have similar content. He had mentioned clips, but I'm like, why think about clips of subject matter? They've always been on that shit. I guess if you deem like drug type talk as mature content, they've always had that. So whether they're in their 20s or in their 50s, like now, it still translates pretty well. Same with Jay. Even in his younger years, he's been on that type of shit. So him like talking about more things that are current, it's not a stark difference between the 90s version and the 2020s version. He has more money and success, so he can talk about it more in depth. But he's been on that flashy shit, talking about getting money, getting out the game, doing this, and that, and he just elevated the talk. People are mentioning Future and Drake as examples. We're in uncharted territory because rap, when I was growing up, if you were getting older, you got penalized for talking about certain things, or you got looked at as the old nigga. You wouldn't have a big young audience. Niggas like Future and Drake, they are rare anomalies. So I hear the critiques that they have, like they should be maturing their content. I don't think that's necessary. I think the people that were with them from day one, as they get older, they might feel like they've grown out of that type of talk, but a lot of their immature talk is just them having relationship issues or them just going out and fucking with random women. I'm like, that seems pretty reflective of their current status. So why would they not? Also, with songwriting, we don't know when these niggas be writing and recording these songs. They could be writing about some shit that took place 5 years ago or some shit that never happened in general, and they're just writing it. I don't think that once a nigga turns 40, he can no longer make music about being in the club or fucking hoes. Like what y'all want as the difference maker? Everybody is different. We see comments from people like Andre 3000. He personally cannot get inspired to write things for an entire album. That's very fair. A lot of other people, we've seen that more and more people in their 40s and 50s, they can still talk the same shit they have been talking since their 20s, and without having to change their content.